Welcome to the 100th full episode of the Full Dive Gaming Podcast. We've been bringing you a full dive of all the news, discussion, and insights you need for virtual reality gaming for 100 episodes, plus a bunch of mini episodes, developer interviews, all kinds of things. The podcast, as always, since the beginning, brought to you by Asterion Products. Check out AsterionProducts.com. Code FULLDIVE will save you $5 on a $20 order, whether it's VR accessories, VR mugs, VR sweaters, little cute Beat Saber frog on it. Check them out. I'm Jay Bratt.
I'm Nat Bratt, a VR enthusiast who is excited to answer 100 questions.
And I'm Lipnox VR, a VR YouTuber who has mastered the art of breathing. Check the last episode.
You have mastered the art of breathing. We're here. We keep you up to date. You know us, but after 100 full episodes, we're doing a special one where we're just answering 100 questions from all of you out there, from the Discord, from the YouTube channel, from every corner of the internet we could find your questions. We got 100 questions to get through. We're going to have to move pretty quickly here. So the first one, Eagle Doc Stu says, with 100 questions to get the first one are you going to start now? And the answer is, we are going to start this right now. Kurt Hapley, terrible impression.
Oh my God.
All right, let's go.
Jammy V Rex asks, what relatively recent XR games or experiences have you found to be the most relaxing or give the best happy vibes? Well, what Lipnox alluded to earlier, Zengens, which we talked about in the last episode, is a great game where you basically breathe to move in the game, and it's kind of like Pistol Whip, but you breathe and there's good music and happy vibes.
Rescue the Holes is a game I recently played, and it's super happy and relaxing, and you get to put a little thing and put the holes, and you know what, just watch the videos, it's good. Next question. Jimmy on the Rocks 593. Has anyone played Colossal Cave? Based on a point and click thing, it's kind of like Myth or something, and no one's played it. Next question. So I put on the headset on my daughter and showed her passive experiences like the Jurassic Park and First Look or whatever the robot is. Is there anything in small doses that you would recommend that are passive experiences that I can show her? There's like a $5 or $3 thing. It's frozen. It's like 10 minutes long, but the kids love it. Perfect length for VR. You guys got anything?
I mean, you're saying passive, and I understand. I respect what you're doing. I may have just given a headset to my barber whose kid is like 6 just to play Gorilla Tag.
Oh my God.
So now there's another 6-year-old in Gorilla Tag, and it might be my fault. But yeah, immersive videos, find some, pre-screen them what you like, educational ones, nature ones, definitely.
Oh my gosh. I just realized, I was thinking that they were asking this for like 6 years from now, but they're asking about it now, and they're just going to get the headset. Okay. Anyway.
Chili's94 has got a whole slew of questions. You guys have mentioned your favorite games in VR, but what are your favorite console games? Ooh. And audience, please don't boo me for not saying PC. Rapid fire, I'll start GTA 5.
Spyro.
Diablo 2 with the expansion pack, Ocarina of Time, Knights of the Republic, Hitman, Roller Coaster Tycoon, Sims.
Minecraft, although PC's better, but
Donkey Kong.
Fallout 4, everything Mario.
GTA San Andreas.
Pass.
Everything GTA.
Ones.
Everything GTA. Every GTA game, every Red Dead Redemption game. LA Noire is kind of cool.
Every GTA, there's 1 or 2 in there I didn't love from GTA, but we don't have time. Jay, your pyramid for a PC tower is cool as hell. Was that a pre-built or did you make it yourself? That's completely custom. I even bent the glass pipes by hand inside of it for the water cooling, and I may still have, you may not be able to see it, I may still have a scar. I actually got burned by the heat gun, and I had like a perfect crescent moon on my arm for like the last year or 2. It's fading.
That's fitting. Right. He said cool as hell, and then you burnt yourself on the computer.
The computer also runs hot. It's not cool at all.
Next question, also from Chili's. What are things you have learned after/during your time using VR? To not be in a small space with another person playing a game where you're punching things.
Facts.
In Astra, I learned a whole bunch about science and stuff. Astra VR, downloaded, awesome game.
It's educational. I would say YouTube, like the whole of YouTube. That's what we're doing. Lip knows podcasts, making podcasts. We learned all about that because of VR. So
true.
Yeah. This is a tricky question, Nat. I'm glad you have to do this one.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, Lip is next.
Yeah.
Lip has, thank God. Thank God.
Top 5 best things to happen to you. You're not allowed to say when you graduated, moved out, or got into a relationship. So number 1, when Jay Bratt invited me to be on the podcast.
Aww.
Number 2, when Nat Brat sent me the breathing game. Number 3, when we figured out we were doing 100 questions on this thing. Number 4, when I read this question. And number 5, when Jay answered it next.
Oh my gosh. That was, starting the YouTube channel,
Aw.
just hitting 80K,
Aw.
bringing on editor John, because when you go from doing it yourself to getting an editor, life-changing. Probably every trip the channel's ever sent us on, but the first one obviously is magical. And I'm not allowed to say relationship, but I was going to mention cats, getting our cats.
Aw.
Easy one.
I'm going to be really bad at this.
Well, you got to go quick.
Okay, kitties, food,
So vague.
going to fun places. I'm bad at this. I'm done.
3 things in her entire life. What are your thoughts on E3 no longer being alive? I'm a little sad because, I mean, I used to see stuff from it and I kind of always thought maybe one day I'll go. And so now it's like not really an option, but it seems like a lot of those gaming cons are like dying out. They're announcing stuff through social media. They don't need like that big yearly thing. And all this stuff leaks before the thing anyways these days. So like they aren't as cool as they used to be, because they used to be like, oh my gosh, all this cool stuff's announced. So whatever.
E3 died as soon as Nintendo started doing Nintendo Direct to me. So all I cared about was what Nintendo announced every year, because everyone else, the games never even come out, or if they do come out, it's already been leaked ahead of time. So it's like, you know what? PlayStation's like, oh, super hype. We got Shenmue, and we got Silent Hill, and we got Knights of the Old Republic. And then these games either never come out, or when they come out, they're not good. So
True. How do you convince someone you know IRL to get into VR? I feel like that depends on the person, because some people are oddly resistant to trying VR, but I would say show them like the old standbys like Beat Saber, Pistol Whip, like games that are cool and fun, and Walkabout Mini Golf. That's a good one.
I just
With
gave up.
I'm done trying with that.
I'm trying. If they want to play it, then they can play it. If they don't want to play it, that's not my fault.
10 questions down. We're 9 minutes in at this rate. This is going to take us nearly 2
All right.
hours speed run.
What do you guys do to prepare for new episodes? Anything that transpires behind the scenes you'd be open to sharing? Yeah, I set up these lights everywhere and have to like spend 15 minutes setting lights up and plugging cameras in and making sure I got the one Google Chrome thing here that has the script and the other one with everyone's face over here. It takes me like 15 minutes.
The outline. It's not a script, but yeah. We
All
did
right,
a lot today,
whatever.
actually. We set up 2 mics. We tried to soundproof the room, and the audio still sounds like crap for us. So what can you do?
Also, we prepare the outline ahead of time, which is just basically like putting in the Q&A questions and then like the topic for news stuff and like which games we're going to talk about. And sometimes we get other people that are guests.
Yeah. It's actually a little more involved than you might guess. Recommendations for 2-player VR games.
2-player. I'm like multiplayer lots. 2-player only.
I mean, Walkabout can be played with just 2 people, and you'll actually
guess
move
that's
through the
true.
holes a lot faster
Yeah.
with just 2 people.
Walkabout Mini Golf definitely recommend.
But what about co-op, where you work together? Lipnox.
Well, Zero Caliber 2 is about to come out really soon, and its entire focus is co-op. I mean, it's 4-player co-op, but you can play with one other person.
Yeah.
I would say Zero Caliber 2, I literally posted a video today. It's coming out sometime this month. Just be excited for that. If you want a 2-player game, just pre-order that.
If you can get your hands on 2 PSVRs with 2 aim controllers, Farpoint, so fun with them all.
Yes. Farpoint is great.
We got Nat, more questions from, you got it right there, man. You got it handy.
Oh,
messing
yeah.
around.
I have an aim controller almost within reach.
Oh, it's my turn again? Gosh. Stego Man has a couple questions for us. One question is, have you ever been totally obsessed with a VR game, not including Astrobot? Rude. Obviously we know that's my oh my gosh. Liftox has all the games ready to show us. Honestly, I feel like I don't know if I've ever been obsessed with a VR game that was not Astrobot. So, but I think
I would say like a game that I was obsessed with, not including Astrobot, sadly VR Chat.
That's okay. Beat Saber, Into the Radius.
Demio.
Although I didn't, Demio. I've had many, too many. Oh man, Liv keeps getting all the good questions.
Boxers or briefs? Note there are some full dive undies mocked up in the Discord if anyone wants to take a look. I don't recommend it. Take a look, that is. Definitely boxers.
None. When I quit working conventionally and I became a YouTuber, I said I am done with underwear, and it's liberating. I gotta tell you, it's one of the greatest things I've ever done.
What happens when you do up the zipper, though? Do you ever get it caught?
You just have to be careful. You got to watch out. Okay. You got to know what you're doing. Since quitting work,
I feel like the boxers are a safety net from that happening.
I'm mostly wearing basketball
maybe I
shorts.
watched what was that movie? Something about Mary. Something about Mary.
Yes.
I saw something about Mary when I was a kid. And that movie traumatized me with the idea that might happen. I've always been extra careful with zipping up.
I don't rock a lot of zippers either because I rock comfies now that I don't work.
True.
So I'm like, I don't have as much risk. It is a little nerve-wracking though when I wear jeans. I'm like, oh, this is scary. Yeah, dangerous. You're a girl, so that doesn't count. Sexist question.
Hey, some girls do wear their boyfriend's boxers though.
That's true. Boxer briefs are pretty comfy.
Yeah. Glock's got questions. Follow-up to boxers or brief questions. Long or no-show socks, there is a correct answer. I love to go right in between with socks that show a little more than you want them to. But they're not the long ones. And you're always like, man, I hate these socks. It's never intentional, but I swear I always end up buying socks like that thinking they're no-shows, and then they show, and I'm just like, what can you do?
Well, the no-show socks are really...
They can fall down in there is why I hate like the true no-shows. They'll fall down inside, and they like get lost in your shoe. It's horrible.
Yeah. I do long socks in the cold months when I'm wearing long pants, and I do the not quite no-show socks, but whatever the shorter ones are in like summer if I'm wearing shoes.
I'm not picky, but ultimately, as long as they're black socks, they have to be black socks.
Don't forget, there's another.
With or without the little pom-poms.
Stego Man added that.
We definitely with the pom-poms. Definitely with the pom-poms.
3%.
I used to have socks with pom-poms as a kid. I cannot keep track of who started this task.
I think it's my turn. Assassin32. Okay. Do you ever hear from the other original co-hosts? The other guy, I think, was Adam, and I don't even know the rest of them. And then it says, we got a surprise special guest appearance in the Discord from Rip after this question. So Rip was the other guy. So I haven't heard from any of them.
We had Adam, Destiny, and you originally. Is that right? And then, and Rip. Obviously.
Rip was the founder. Rip. Destiny, Dollface, whatever you want to call her. Yeah. I still talk to her pretty regularly on Instagram. I was actually supposed to go see her like 2 months ago, but trip fell through. Rip, I talked to him somewhat regularly, and then he showed up in the Discord here when someone asked that question. Adam, unfortunately,
he doesn't like us anymore.
He had a lot going on. And
he talked to us a little bit.
We actually went on one of our first channel trips with Adam. Like, we went to Texas together and hung out with him in person.
It was so fun.
I keep hoping one of these days.
I know exactly what the problem was. It was that Sniper Elite episode, Jay. You didn't like Sniper Elite enough. If you liked it more, he'd still be here.
Well, what about Kaylee Eliza?
Oh, yeah. She was on for a little while. Yeah. She had to go away for work and stuff. But I see her on Twitch every now and again. I pop in and say, hey.
I started posting stuff on Twitter like a couple weeks ago.
Nice. Yeah. So we hear.
We keep in contact. But yeah, I don't know if any of them are ever going to come on for another episode again. But if they want to, we'd be more than willing.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah. It'd be really different if Destiny came on because we never saw her in a face-to-face video.
Oh, that's right.
It was always only when we were still doing it in VR chat. Yeah, okay, we got to keep moving.
Okay. Propo Papa asks, can you do a VR podcast inside VR? And Glock thought that would be a cool throwback for us to do, but that's too much work, so we're not doing it.
Maybe.
And it looks terrible. It looks terrible.
Maybe
I'm sorry.
someday.
It looks terrible. I go back and watch those episodes. They look terrible.
It's terrible.
You never get the camera angles right. The avatars aren't proper.
It's a lot harder than it seems.
Yeah, and the avatars just look so dead in the eyes.
But it is nice that you don't have to you can look terrible and it doesn't matter because your avatar is there for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the avatars look terrible anyway. I mean, I think I'd rather look terrible as a human.
Destiny's avatar looked really good.
Yeah, she had a custom cool one.
Yeah, Adam's avatar looked
I had a custom cool one, and then mine was so custom cool, it looked completely out of place in the podcast. I had to change it.
Too good. Too good.
It was all skinny and emo with Jay's normal, Ready Player One avatar.
Oh, good times.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Flip.
Glock, opinions on strawberry lemonade. I've had raspberry lemonade. I don't think I've had strawberry lemonade. Have you guys had strawberry lemonade?
You haven't had strawberry lemonade? Is that not a normal thing in Canada?
I've had raspberry and I've had pink lemonade, but is pink lemonade strawberry lemonade or what's the deal with that?
I don't think pink is. No, I think it's specifically strawberry lemonade. And it's great. Usually there's little chunks of strawberries.
Is strawberry lemonade not a thing in Canada?
That clog up your straw.
You could get it most restaurants.
Yeah, most places here have it.
What?
Interesting.
I love strawberry lemonade.
Every day we learn something about Canada.
It might be a thing here. I might just be not paying attention.
Look for it next time you're out. then bring us back an answer. Bringhurst actually is showing up here. If you don't know their channel, what features do you want
I
to?
love that guy. He always comments on my videos. Props to him. Go check out his channel.
Yes. Shout out.
Everybody loves them. What features do you want to see for the Quest Pro 2, but that you expect won't be included due to a larger focus on keeping it inexpensive? There's rumors this can have varifocal lenses, and I feel like that is like the most expensive feature I would have never imagined would actually make it into the headset. Because I mean, I would expect eye tracking. I don't think face tracking will make it, not because of price, but just because I don't think it really was used much last time. But man, if there was truly something too expensive, I would say like a really wide field of view. Like that's something Meta's just never touched on. And like, if we are ever going to get full immersion, like 220 field of view is human eyes, I don't think it'll be anywhere near. It'll probably be like 120, if that. So that's probably the only thing I can think it wouldn't have.
Jimmy on the Rocks asks, Quest 4 predictions. I have no idea. What do you guys think?
I'm going to guess that the Quest headset, starting with the Quest 3S, will stop coming with controllers. And the Quest 4 will likely be that case.
Interesting.
So the
I
Quest
can see that
3S has controllers. We've seen that. So you're saying the Quest 4 won't. It's
Right, yeah.
dead.
I could see
Hey,
that.
I'm saying that the Quest 3S is going to have a version that doesn't have controllers.
Oh, a cheaper controller-free version. That would
Yeah.
be following Apple's lead.
And then I think
I
the
feel like
Quest
they're-
4 is going to do the same thing because you can use the Quest Pro controllers on the Quest 3. If we assume people already have a Quest 3, they might get a Quest 4. Why do I want to spend controllers again when the controllers already work?
Yeah.
Nintendo did the same thing with the 3DS where they stopped including the power cables after a point.
Oh, wow.
Good prediction.
Interesting. I feel like eye tracking's got to make a return at some point just for foveated rendering. Like they got to figure out cheaper, battery-free, lower battery. And that's the only way they're really going to start pulling more power. Because I mean, these chips can't get better fast enough for us to really get to like realistic graphics fast enough. But I mean, there's even a chance. It's a low chance, but I mean, we may not even be called a Quest 4. Like it might be, if they really make these AR glasses as good as they're claiming, they might just completely switch gears.
Yeah. True.
So Propo Papa says, will you hosts start a VR company? And this is amazing that he asked that because I'm just right this second starting Nox Industries and we're going to make the best VR games in the world. Just kidding. I have no idea.
I was like, what? That'd be so cool.
That would be kind of a thing to do. It's like a lot of like content creators get to a point and then they're like, okay, I don't want to create content anymore. Now I'm going to start my own VR company and abandon my channel and all the people that helped me get there. No.
Sad. We know your opinions on this.
I've been
play
asked.
Applot. I know that's a bad idea. That game will just
Yeah.
fail anyway. I'm
I've
not
been
rolling
asked
the dice.
to be part of companies. I've been asked to take jobs, and I was like, I started YouTube because I didn't want to ever work for someone again. No, and even starting a company, like, I mean, I guess technically you can start a media company, like for your channel if you're like growing it. So I guess that might happen down the road. But a VR specific company, I don't really see. I don't really see it myself. That
Sounds
could
like
change.
too much work.
Yeah.
I'll take any jobs you guys have if anyone's hiring. I don't mind working.
Lipnox says yes. We got aspirational questions now. Mr. Zircon Kill You. Will there ever be a JBrat or Full Dive VR showcase?
What is that?
It would be like showing off the new games that are coming out.
Like the VR, whatever that channel is, Upload VR Showcase or the.
Oh, okay.
I doubt that too. Like, unless I decided to take the channel in direction of being like a full media company. Like, I like doing the news, but I like playing with stuff. I like talking about stuff. I don't really see it. But like, if a developer came to me with their game, was like, hey, I want you to be the one to tell the world that this is coming, I might like feature that in a video, but I don't see doing like a full showcase. Too much work.
So admittedly, this is a funny question because like a year ago, someone was trying to do some VR chat showcase with all the video game things. And I was like, this is a great idea. They never responded to me ever again. So I mean, if someone wants, if I have enough things to do a showcase, I will definitely make a video for you people. But I don't think people are gonna. The thing is, all these trailers get released so early that even the showcases that they release now, I watch them and I'm bored because I've seen everything already.
Yep, it needs to be like world premieres only. I wouldn't mind hosting like if we get to the point where VR has its own gaming awards, like the gaming awards, I wouldn't mind being a part of that and like showing off a bunch of games and stuff there. But like right now, the VR awards is like all about the companies and other stuff, and that's not bad. But like I would like us to get big enough that there's one just dedicated to the games because that would be really cool.
That would.
So Sky, I want to do this one. I want to do the next one.
Oh,
So
I was going to steal this one.
Okay, all right. You steal it. I have the answer. I have an answer then. You can
I
steal
have
the
an
question.
answer too.
I got the answer.
Flip, it's all you. You got it.
All right. So Sky7247, will Final Fantasy series ever have something for VR released? And it does have something VR released on SideQuest. You can go and see Final Fantasy, whatever the online one, you can go and watch several of the character models and some of the environments and look really cool in VR. And there's also Arc Axer, whatever it is, which is basically Final Fantasy, but not Final Fantasy.
Is that side questing official or is that unofficial?
That's a side loading thing, and it's definitely not official. Definitely
So
not
there
official.
is, I'm pretty sure there is an official Final Fantasy thing in VR. It was a fishing thing on PSVR. It was like
Oh,
Final
that is
Fantasy
a thing.
Monster or something.
That
That's
is a thing. I read about
right.
that.
I forgot about
So
that.
there is official content out there. If you can get on a PSVR, there's some sort of fishing thing that's from Final Fantasy that you can do.
I think it's like
Yeah.
$30 though.
Yeah, and you gotta have a PSVR.
Worth
so
it.
Really gotta chase it down.
I forgot about that.
All right. So next question. I guess we're gonna skip you. Mr. Zircon Killu asks, which is the better host of the Play PSVR podcast? 1, Adam. 2, Alex. 3, occasional guest Shafe Stradamus. I'm gonna say Alex is the better.
Oh,
I had that answer way too fast.
I will say.
I hope they don't listen to this episode.
I think Alex is probably the host that people show up for, but I think Adam is the driver of the podcast. He actually makes sure content comes out,
that's
makes
true.
the episodes happen, and Shafe Stradamus shows up with the best predictions
That's
of
true.
the future. So that's where each of their strengths lie.
Alex is just good at BSing, so that's helpful.
Mr.
I think it's over
Zircon,
to you.
Kill you. Ever consider live hosting an episode with other VR enthusiast guests during a game of Among Us, Pavlov, Walkabout, or some other multiplayer game? And I don't know. I feel like it's hard to talk about stuff when you're playing a game.
Maybe that's the draw, though. It's like Hot Ones. You're all messed up because you're all in heat.
Yeah, but I'm already doing that anyway.
You're in heat.
In heat while you're on the episode. It might not be a bad idea to consider, but how could we really put the pressure on?
How do you even film that? How do you film that? Like, it's like, I can understand, like, maybe the golf thing, you have one player that's just recording footage of the person talking, but I feel like it's like,
I feel like you'd have to have like cameras on them. They have their headsets on. They're in the game, but there's got to be like something at stake too. Like it's a tournament where someone wins something and they're trying to answer questions during. So it just really puts them
That'd
in
be
a
fun.
tough session.
I like it. Ooh, I like this next question.
Then take it. Go for it.
Yay! Go-to snack during a VR binge session. I feel like I had one and then I can't remember what it was, but I would say definitely not like chips or anything that leaves residue on your fingers. Maybe like a boba tea, because maybe that could count as a snack because you chew up the boba.
You need something clean and easy that's not going to make a mess. What do you got?
I mean, I try not to eat when playing VR. So, I mean, nothing probably.
I've definitely had like a protein shake, like in a blender bottle, like an easy that I can get my mouth around the whole bottle and like quick a
Your
swig.
mouth around the whole bottle?
Oh yeah, the entire bottle, not just the opening. And then that way it's not spilling everywhere. Because like if you have like a glass of something in VR, it just doesn't work. You need to have like a bottle that you can. I'm going to demonstrate this, even though it's really
Oh my
awkward. You got to be able to like fully enclose so that you don't spill it. So
I think grapes.
I would say just add clips of your like 10 days in VR thing. You can see you eating in VR and what happens.
that
And
was
then you
Yes.
can
hard,
see
but I
Matt
wasn't
scooping
gaming
it up
I was
afterwards. You can see now
literally
it's Grum
sitting.
just scooping all the stuff he dropped up.
It was all over.
Oh my gosh.
What's one VR accessory purchased or sent for trial review that you expected to hate and now cannot imagine VR? I don't know about hate, but I was pretty shocked by the fans. Like I had always like blown a big
Yeah.
fan on me, and I kind of thought like an on headset fan, it sounds like something to charge. It sounds like it won't have enough power to make a difference. And then once I used it, I was like, okay, now I can't live without this. Hand straps actually are another one because
yeah.
I had a PSVR before the Valve Index did the like on hand thing. And I remember thinking, oh, those don't seem that necessary. But once you use a set, you will never go back to another controller that doesn't have
Lipbox
them.
is so on it.
He's
He's
got
got all the
everything.
visuals.
Admittedly, this is just a coincidence to have this.
We're not
beside
even
me.
going to need to do B-roll. We just Lipbox
She just
has
cut
the
to me.
visuals.
Just cut to me.
Okay,
I would
next
agree. I would agree
question.
with the hand strap, though. I would agree with these
Yes.
hand straps. You have no idea how important these are until you don't have them.
Yep.
That is very true. I'm just going to agree with all that because great ones. Okay, next question. Will Adam from Play PSVR recover if Sony pulls out of VR? I don't think so. He would just cease to exist.
It's called Play PSVR, the podcast. I mean, they'd have to really change directions. Although I know he
It could
likes
become a
Slack
retro
gaming.
channel. It could be like retro VR, PlayStation VR.
There
like-
you go.
You know,
The OG
vintage VR channel. We haven't played the classics.
Ooh, we got to cut that out. Someone's going to steal that because that's a great name. Vintage VR.
I think this one's at me, so I'm just going to take it. You're currently
Okay.
testing a bHaptics vest. Any opinions so far? And by chance, are you going to compare with a Subpack and Woojer vest? Yes, I will compare it to the brand new Subpack if they ever send it to me that I paid for 3 years ago now and still has not been delivered.
3 years ago?
Due to COVID
paid for it?
constraints and everything else.
Why would you pay for
bought
these
it.
things?
I bought it. And
Why?
they were supposed to get delivered like right away. And then 3 years later, they keep sending me an email. It's like, it's almost here, but you can
You have
cancel.
to
And I'm
wait
like, should I
over it.
cancel? And then I don't. And then
Wow.
And then the company
I
went out of
didn't
business
realize
and they don't
that
exist
never
anymore.
came.
Yeah.
Wow. I remember you ordering that. Jeez.
Isn't that
Wow.
the one that just plugs into the sound? It's just like a music vibration thing.
but it's not vibration though. It can punch
It's
you in
awesome.
the chest. Like,
yeah. We accidentally turned it up too much for my brother who has asthma. And he was like, oh, it hurts. And I was like, "Pfft." He's just like being dramatic. And then I put it on. And I was like, oh, oops.
Yeah, well, I will happily say bHaptics. If you would like, I will put a link to bHaptics channel in every single video I ever release if you send me one of those things.
there we go. Lip.
What are the, DMax said, what are the top things you think developers are missing the boat with VR multiplayer games? And I would say
question.
that any developer that is releasing a game that is multiplayer, that wants it to be massively successful, you need to assume that your player base audience is between the age of 12 and 18. And if you're not targeting that audience, then you're probably not going to succeed. So I would say definitely go for that. Free to play usually does better, but sometimes that can also ruin the game. But basically, if you do not get that 12 to 18, whatever age audience, then you're probably not going to succeed because everyone that's older than that will probably only play with their friends.
Oh, I guess that's a good point. Yeah.
If you want to also succeed without having to really worry about the quality, make it free, multiplayer, and horror. Because I'm trying to compile a list of those, and I've got to tell you, it's the most missed genre in all of VR. Horror games are generally single player, and they generally cost money. And if they are free, they're single player still. Like, make a free, good horror multiplayer game and add cosmetics, and you'll probably be rich. That's all you
Yeah,
gotta do.
I've actually made
Untapped
over
market.
$400 on YouTube for my free horror games video.
Wow.
There
From
you
just
go.
YouTube ad revenues, so
Sweet.
Yeah.
thank
It's
you, those
a-
games.
Yeah.
It's a missing.
I made a lot more than the developers.
Multiplayer, though.
I don't know. There's something like Five Nights or something that Click Games is making that's multiplayer that I think is free. Like a Five Nights at
nice.
Freddy's thing. I don't know.
That's because I told them this when I talked to them. I was like,
Oh, is
"Hey,
that where that game came from?
you need to make?"
Because they keep asking me to play it, and I'm like, I don't play horror games. And they're like, well, it looks like you play horror games. I was like, yeah, well, the free ones that are not scary.
It looks like a lot of things.
Okay, this is your like VR company. It will be just telling developers what game they
Just
should
consult.
make.
I mean-
Also from DMax, which single player games do you really wish had a multiplayer component? All the horror ones.
Yeah.
Because it's less scary when you go in with a friend. Truly.
Yeah.
Like, if there's a game that's too scary to play single player, you go with a friend, way less.
Oh yeah.
Highly recommend it.
Okay.
This game would be fun with multiplayer. There was
See?
someone sitting beside you. You could both sit
Yeah.
beside each other and shoot people on the roller
Yeah,
coaster.
two
That'd be
people in the
Ooh,
cart.
yeah.
You both have guns. It's easy.
Smart.
As I said, if we can get Iron Man on Quest, can we get Until Dawn Rush of Blood, the first one?
Yeah, man.
Can we get this game, someone? Can someone contact Sony and get this ported to Quest? This would be sweet. PlayStation doesn't care about
great.
this stuff anymore.
I know. Okay, next question. Other than hardware prices, what are the top 3 things that need to happen for VR to really break out to the masses? Oh man.
A user interface needs to be way, way better and easier to use. The
Comfier.
headset needs to be extremely comfortable out of the box, not having to buy accessories and figure out what you need to buy.
True.
And number 3, they need to adopt cloud gaming into the system, because if people are getting a
Man.
massive downgrade in graphics, they are never going to be sold on it ever. It's never going to
Good
be mainstream
answer.
until you can match PC VR on a portable headset that's successful.
Lipnox just had that answer
Battery
in his
life,
pocket.
too, especially with cloud gaming. Battery needs to
Yeah.
last. It keeps getting worse every generation.
True.
Oh my god!
And if you turn pass through on, you're just done. You're like, oh, here you go. Here's an hour.
True.
who
So
who asked
Chili's
that?
or Chili's 94 says, when you all started this podcast, did you imagine making it to 100 episodes with this many fans? And I think that's for you guys.
Chili's.
Oh, I was
For
I
he's
was on
the OG.
original episode, and oh man, who's going to be listening to this episode? I think that this podcast
Oh,
has been a mainstay due to a couple of people who just never gave up on it. One of those is actually Nat. Because there was a time when it was in transition and I was like, should I keep putting time to this? It's a passion thing. We love it. It's not big profitable and all that. We have some real supporters that take care of us. It's not like this is a viable thing on its own. So if it hadn't have been for like a few times where a few pivotal people were like, we're going to keep this thing going, this podcast almost died so many times. Now it feels like we just can't quit ever. So now it's here to stay. Even if some months we make one episode, we love it. We like doing it. We like hanging out with Lipnox. And so it's just something we do for fun. And yes, because of that, I think it made it to this point because of those certain people like Lipnox, who's been here with us for a long time now. So thank you to all of you.
I'm only here because I like talking to Jay and Nat.
That's the key. We like sitting down talking because this is low pressure. It's fun. It's just so different.
Okay, time for the next question. Stop talking.
Getting too emotional.
What have been your favorite moments throughout this podcast run? Aw, Chili's. What great questions. Oh, man. I think when we met Adam, that was really cool in person and did I wasn't even on the podcast at that point, but
you had guested.
Yeah. But you, Adam, and Destiny did an in-person episode. That was really cool. Lipnox, it would be so fun if we could do an in-person episode. Like we could just visit you in Canada. That'd be so fun.
The sucky thing is not only are you in Canada, you're on the other end of Canada.
That's true.
It'd
be quite a trek.
We're 6 hours from the Canada border here, but then you are 45 hours across Canada from us from there.
I mean, I got the green screen. You could just green screen me into the thing and
right in the middle right here. Yeah, definitely those moments like the trips, the meeting the people, all are obviously amazing. I hope to one day, find a reason in a way that everybody that's ever been on an episode ends up in the same spot.
Aw, that'd be so fun.
That's a big dream, but maybe someday. And are there, Blip, do you have anything? I mean, you already said
are there any
things.
For the favorite moments of the podcast run, I would say one moment that comes out at me is looking at an outline one day and finding that this terrible game that I bought months previously called Beyond the Picture Frame or Beyond the Frame, someone else got suckered into buying this piece of crap, and it happened to be Nat.
That was a fun episode. We were ranting
that episode,
so much.
And that game was absolutely terrible. And I was like, oh, I actually own that game.
Oh my gosh,
I gotta play it again.
So good.
If they fixed it, nope, it's worse. All right. So, are there any deleted scenes of the podcast that didn't make the final cut? And yes, there is an episode of Sail VR, the developer interview. And Jay was like, I don't want to edit this video. So he sent it to me to edit, and I looked at it and I was like, yeah, this is not good. We just gave up on it.
But some people may see the light of day in some iteration at some point.
Yeah, if we make memberships. Glock asks maybe a bit more of a mature question. For a platform like VRChat, do you think moderating any and all content uploaded to the game, including worlds and avatars, to match their rating is a realistic solution to fixing the problem of minors easily accessing adult content in the game? If not, do you think this issue has any solution at all?
Wow, good question.
I think this problem in the entire realm of gaming in the world is just too big of a problem. I don't know there is a solution because there's never enough people that can moderate something. Like you look at a Discord, thousands of members, sometimes it'll have 5 mod. You'd have to have 1,000 people to moderate 1,000 person Discord to watch every post to make sure that everything that goes up and that everything's okay. So it's just not really possible. I think
there is a solution to this. There is a solution. Yeah. Only play old games because kids never want to play the old games. So you can go on PS3, play online, I guarantee you won't find any kids. They'll all be old 50-year-old guys that haven't upgraded yet. They're still playing Call of Duty on their old PS3s.
Oh, yeah. So cool. Next question. What is the best color and why is it purple? Great question. I like blue. Blue is my favorite, but purple is great too. I also like orange.
I like green.
What is the least favorite color that there is, I wonder? I feel like it might actually be orange. Well, what are the main colors? What is the least favorite color out there? If we're not talking black, white, or brown.
If we're talking the Roy G. Biv.
Yeah. What is the least favorite?
Rainbow colors.
I feel like it's probably orange or yellow.
Not yellow. I love yellow. Yellow is one of my favorites.
I like yellow too.
But I'm saying if you had to pick your favorite color, most people I think it's blue.
Yes.
Then it's green. Then it's purple.
I'd be green, pink, and yellow.
I have a short story about blue. I was in a dance class in 5th grade, and we had to choose these little outfits to be in the thing, and every girl chose blue except one girl that chose pink. So yeah, blue is popular.
I think it's the biggest favorite color on the planet.
Okay, over to you, Lipnox.
Chick-fil or Cane's? I have no idea what Cane's is, and I've never been to Chick-fil, so whatever it is, I've never been to these things, or I don't know what they are.
Chick-fil-A
You guys take it away.
is basically a chicken sandwich place. Cane's is more like a Popeyes or a KFC.
I had never heard of Cane's.
I've only been there because Bridger took us there when we were in Vegas.
I also thought Chick-fil-A was pronounced Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A,
I don't know.
For sure, in my opinion. Although I've only been to Cane's once, so
It says Chick-fil-A. It says Chick-fil-A there.
That's how it's spelled. That's Chick-fil-A.
How is that Chick-fil-A?
I
Filet would be
agree.
a different word. Filet would be F-I-L-E-T or
I
something.
agree.
That's not English language.
Jay, besides being invited to attend the launch party, how'd you meet Scott from Combat Waffle Studio? Well, that is where I met him, but I've also seen him at multiple events ever since. He's been on the podcast. I saw him at Connect. Scott and me are homies. He's a lot of fun, and he, like me, attends some of these big VR events and then gets shocked by what we see when people have had too much. So Scott is my guy in the corner with me when we're both like, what is happening right now? Yeah, he keeps it a little calmer.
Oh man, you got to take the next question too.
So because this question for me, this is from the founder of the podcast, the original creator and idea behind it, Rip McCaffer asks, I'll throw in a question for Jay while I'm here. With so many great games having come out in the past decade, what game is your go-to showstopper for someone coming over IRL and trying out VR, and why is it still Beat Saber? No. It depends on the person. I have to think what is going to shock this person, because some people, when they say, oh, VR could never affect me, Richie's playing. That's not something you should put most people in for the first time, but if they come at me with oh, I'd never be affected by this, or if people say, oh, VR would never scare me, like a game like Propagation, freak them out and show them that, yeah, you can be scared. But honestly, if I'm showing someone VR for the first time, I often choose the beginner experiences, the first encounters, the one with the robot and stuff, because those do a really good job of just showcasing and letting them see what it's like. Beat Saber is not something I actually put most people in their first time, unless they come to me oh, I've seen this game online, I want to try.
Yeah, it can kind of be hard. Okay, next few questions are from Theron from the Scuttlebutt podcast. He's awesome. Go listen to the Scuttlebutt podcast. What is your least favorite VR game or experience of all time? Behind the Frame was pretty bad. Gosh. This is a good question. It's hard to, there's so many games. Lipnox, you probably have some good ones because you've tried all those side quest games and stuff.
Yeah, I would say my least favorite experience is anytime I've been thrown underwater in VR, because I get super intense. But there was one moment that I'm gonna go back in time, way back to the past, and I'm gonna say so my least favorite experience would be when I had to play Robinson the Journey. And I love Robinson the Journey, but at the end of the game, they make you climb down the scariest thing ever. It's just, you just go down so far and you have to go into this cavern thing, and it's dark and there's so much climbing. And honestly, I played already 4 hours of this game. I know I want to beat the game, but it's my palms are sweaty. There's sweat dripping into my controller. I'm afraid my controller is going to just try and die because I'm completely just trying to play this Robinson the Journey game. So yeah, that was definitely one of the moments that I was I have to beat this because it is what it is, but it was not fun to do it. It was heart-wrenching and terrifying.
Oh man.
For that game, for all the people talk crap about it and said it was just a walking simulator, man, that game, I look back on it so fondly. The visuals in it, the dinosaurs in it.
Robinson Journey was a walking simulator?
Move on.
That's what a lot of people said. PSVR, man, that was one of the OGs.
I think the only problem with it was that they wanted $60 for it at launch. I paid $5 on sale for it. That's why it was good for me.
When are you going to do a major virtual meetup, and what gamer app will it be in?
Virtual.
We've done a lot on the JRat channel in the early days. The problem was, even back then, it was getting so overloaded. We're talking about
Full Dive right now.
I know, but even then, it was just getting so full that it's hard to find the right game. True. Rec Room was the main one.
Yeah.
But it fills up. So if we just did a Full Dive one, we could probably keep it low key. You can go on some quests or play some dodgeball in Rec Room or something. But yeah, if I announce it on the other channels, you end up full, and it's so hard, and everybody wants to come up and say hi and stuff. And it's really cool, but it's intense and it can get really overwhelming. You've got 40 voices around you talking at the same time. It's not a low key experience. You got to be ready for it when you do it. It's funny how like in real life, because we just had that meetup, people know in real life, like, oh, I'll give them a minute, they're talking to someone. But in VR, it's like nobody remembers that anymore.
Yeah.
It's like you can just get right in someone's face.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I would say it was probably going to be Rec Room, VR chat, or something social that's easy to get into.
Horizon
Maybe, I like
Worlds.
Squid Smack. I like Squid Smack. But
Yeah.
if I was to do
People
a
like
major
that.
virtual meetup, it had to be something that's easy to get into and doesn't have a difficulty getting into, basically, for the lobbies and stuff. But the next question: at this point in your life, does playing VR ever feel like a chore between reviewing all the accessories and games? And I will say two answers to this. First of all, I hate reviewing accessories. It takes so long to figure out how to even film these things and how to position myself so I don't look weird. And, I get all these weird angles to show the product, and I don't like accessory reviews because I have like it felt good. 60 seconds done. Now how do I turn this into 5 minutes? All right. But then the other thing is I absolutely despise the fact that I have to play so many random games because of the fact that I have to play so many tutorials. And all the tutorials are like so ridiculous. They're like, this is how you jump. This is how you move. And I'm like, I got 500 games in my account. Leave me alone. Can I just skip to the game part? It drives me insane. Half of them, I just exit the game. I'm like, you made the tutorial too annoying. I'm not playing the game.
Yeah. Make a skip tutorial button, people. For me, it's kind of weird though, because for sometimes with this, like I almost am excited because like I've been doing so much else and I'm like excited to go play VR to test something because it's like I'm just doing it. I'm not doing it. I may not be doing it on camera. I may just be doing it for fun. So sometimes it's like the opposite, weirdly.
Okay, next question from Chili's. May I get a quick shout out for keeping the meme page alive? And he's talking about the meme page on Discord. And yes, yay,
Done.
Chili's shout out.
Done. Mr. Zircon Kill You, J Brat, what is the best meal the Nat Brat cooks?
Aww.
We've been together for 14 years now. There's a lot of good meals. Right? Lately, she's been making a pasta that I really like, and I keep craving it. So I'm just going to go with that.
Cool. And then next question, for me, what's the best meal J Brat cooks? And he makes some really good stuff. The stuff that I think about is like you used to make really good like spicy pasta. Maybe haven't in a while, but broccoli pasta. So good.
On the subject of food, have you ever started cooking and decided to check something out real quick in the headset and end up burning everything? And I can't really remember if that ever happened, but I will say that there was one time, maybe like 6 months ago, that I was cooking pierogies in my ActiFry thing, and then I fell asleep because I forgot I was cooking pierogies in the ActiFry. And then I woke up 8 hours later and went to the kitchen, and it was still going. And these were just, thankfully, it didn't catch on fire. These were just the most burnt-looking pierogies on the planet. So they were just black crispiness. And I was like, well, it's lucky this thing didn't break. And my house didn't catch
I
on
was
fire.
bad because one time I put a quiche in the oven and went like to the grocery store or something and came back and it was like a couple hours, but it was like not that bad. It was just like brown. But oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, we've been having an issue here lately too. At the new studio, we got this toaster oven off Amazon for like $40, and it will like go from your toast
terrible.
being unburnt to your toast being burnt to a crisp in like the period of 1 minute. So like we'll start the toast, we'll go to do something, and we come back and let's like all of us have gotten into this habit where like if we're near the kitchen and we see someone's toast is burning, we'll yell at, "Hey, your toast is burning!" because it just constantly burns the toast. It's really weird.
It's sad.
Now we're on to some questions from Peeps Are Gross. Do you eat soup with a butter knife or a spork? I mean, if you had to choose one or the other, spork's definitely going to work better because it is a spoon and fork together.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, and we've got some old questions from unreleased episodes. I think they're unreleased. Did we do
recorded the
this
episodes,
one?
we just didn't end up
We never
editing
released this
them.
one? Are you sure?
I mean, you got these questions together.
Okay, well, you told me, but I don't know. If you guys have heard answers to these questions, just pretend you haven't. One of them was, what did y'all have for Thanksgiving from Block?
It's so bad. So bad that episode never came out.
Oh, that's hilarious. I think we had like the normal Thanksgiving stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had garlic bread, sausage, and salad today. Anything past that, I don't remember.
Don't remember. Mr. Zircon Kill You asked about that Polaris. Do you remember that motion sickness device I tested that sticks into the pressure points on your head? was supposed to help guide the adhesive pieces to their correct spot and release the handle. Either way, doesn't sound like it was great. It was horrible. Man, these questions are so dated.
Oh my god.
At JRat, what's the biggest negative to having your channel explode to what it is now? I actually remember answering this question because it was impactful. It was losing a lot of the connection with the close people in the community. Like, that was during the holidays. Quest 3 had come out. Everything was just popping. And even though like so many people were coming in, so many comments, I didn't respond to a comment. I feel like all freaking holiday season I was so busy. Like, I've been trying to respond to them again more now, and it's been a little bit nicer, but I remember that being tough.
Okay, now we're back to the normal Discord questions we had. Another one from Mr. Zircon Kielyu. Have you ever snuck off to the bathroom while in VR and ended up having both legs fall asleep on the toilet?
I have a really awkward answer to this question. We were playing Walkabout Mini Golf, like 2 rounds with the Play PSVR guys, with Shave Dog, with that guy as well. And nature called in a big way. I'm not talking 1, I'm talking 2. And I was like, I don't Walkabout Mini Golf. I can mute my headset and just do this. So I just went to the bathroom, had the headset on, was still putting my balls, and just wasn't talking at all. But then Adam realized, he's like, wait, didn't he say he needed to go to the bathroom? And now he's not talking, and his headset looks lower than when he was standing. And then he proceeded to freak out about it. Like, that was so weird. And he's like, oh my gosh, do you think anyone else has ever like done something weird while in a VR headset? And I was like, dude, the first thing most people do when they get a VR headset is something weird. I couldn't believe he questioned that so weirdly. So I don't think there was no time for my legs.
I don't know if that's weird.
Yeah.
I feel like literally my washroom is like right on the other side of this wall, and I can just turn on thing to not have like the Guardian. So anytime I'm on VR chat, I'm just like, mute the mic. All right. And you just see me stand up.
Why
and go.
not?
And I purposely like turn my neck to make it seem like I'm not actually there, but I'm definitely there.
That's amazing.
See, like, you play a game on the toilet on your phone. Like,
everyone brings their phone in the bathroom.
It's not.
I just don't want to have to take the headset off if I have to go to the washroom. I mean, if I was going number 2, I'd probably take the headset off because I don't want to like touch the headset. But if I'm just standing up, it's like, oh yeah, quick in, quick out.
Yeah. If you want a question, I feel like it's been a minute for you.
What game franchise do you think would get the most people into VR who aren't already? And probably Fortnite.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah, real proper Fortnite VR, obviously huge. Because now Roblox is here. That was one of the biggest games in the world. Yeah, I agree. Great answer. Glock has asked so many questions, getting the MVP title of the questions. What VR game do you think you have the most hours in? For me, by far, it's Beat Saber.
Probably Beat Saber. You think Beat Saber more than Demeo?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. I spent like thousands of hours on that when we first got it. I swear. Demeo's up there, though.
Yeah.
Those are probably my top 2.
What about you?
VR chat on the paper.
I'm gonna assume that we're not talking about social games, and I'm gonna give it to Hitman VR.
Nice. All right. What VR game do you wish you played more, if any? I feel like I wish that I played more of any VR game because I always play them for a little while and then just stop. I really want to play more Zengens. It's a great game.
Weirdly, my same answer is Beat Saber. I've played so much that my elbows have started deciding they want to have a little tendonitis, and it's pushed me out of it for a while. So hopefully that heals up and I can get back to it.
My answer would be all of the VR games that I paid real money for that I never actually played.
Yes.
I got a bunch
answer.
of them. What VR game do you wish you played less, if any? Any of the ones that had tutorials that I didn't make a video on?
Max Mustard. I played it to completion to just try to understand why everybody loved it more than I did.
Get us in trouble.
Everybody loved it.
Everyone loves that game.
98% completion. And every second of it, I was like, I wish I wasn't playing this right now.
I probably agree.
Beyond the Frame.
Oh, no, actually, yes. Thank you, Lipnox. Yes.
The memories are too good.
It was actually, yeah, it was pretty fun, even though it was so janky.
Jay, do you realistically think you'll ever do an X Days in VR again? Nat asked me about 100 hours straight for 100K. I don't see it. I don't see a reason to. I feel like I learned everything I did. And the problem is, to learn more, I would either have to do something different or something more, and I don't want to do more than 10 days. That was wild. I might try, like, once we get a headset that's really like a wearable all the time headset, like everywhere you go, everything you do, I might do like, hey, I'm going to wear this thing for a week straight no matter what I do. But none of the headsets we have are at that point yet. But that would be the only reason I see doing it, is because I could learn something new. There's just, if I did it now, it would just be a stunt. It wouldn't be an experiment. And I didn't want it to be a stunt. Or did you already get the whole experience?
So actually, Jay's tricking you. He's got this amazing plan to do 7 days in VR horror games.
Oh my god!
Now made it so he has to do it.
That would start scary, and then it would get really boring. There was a second part to this question, or did you already get the whole experience? I think I answered that. So yeah. Oh my gosh, how many questions we get about that? And is there any notes or comments you have to share about your 10 days in VR that maybe you haven't discussed as much or you would have wanted to in the past? For the people who didn't catch the whole video, I think the weirdest thing to me when it was all over was that it just felt like one long day. I could not differentiate. Even though I went to sleep, I could not differentiate day from day. And when I got back to my bed upstairs, it didn't feel like, oh, I haven't been in my bed in 2 weeks. Like, this feels so nice. It literally felt like yesterday I had slept in my bed and just felt like there was one really long day in the middle, which is a really weird feeling.
That's so weird. The next question here is for Lip and Jay. What are your thoughts on YouTube growth? Personally, do you avoid getting caught up in the numbers, or do the numbers motivate you?
I mean, I probably got more views on my channel when I started my channel than I do now. So I just don't care anymore. I just make whatever I want to make. And if people like it, awesome. If they don't like, I don't really care.
That's because you went viral early, though. You had one.
Yeah, but that's because I made the stupid Minecraft videos. Stupid Minecraft Move controller video. It tainted my channel.
Aww.
For me, I look at the numbers. I try not to let them drive the channel much. It has changed a little bit. Like, now that we have other people with us as a part of it, helping, and there's, we got to pay for stuff. We got this new studio space. I do have to think about that side more than I would like to, but it doesn't mean that I'm not going to like this series I'm about to start could be a total flop. I don't care. I'm doing it because it's something I've always wanted to do. We're going to have fun doing it. And if it is a 10 out of 10 video every time, oh, freaking well, it's going to be fun. So there is a slight bit I have to factor in. Like, there's like, how do we pay the bills a little bit now with the numbers? But for the most part, I'm going to do what I want to do. And that's anything to do with VR, luckily.
Thoughts on what Valve is planning, and what do you think the Deckard will be actually capable of, assuming they won't price it over $2,000? And honestly, I don't know why people like the Index so much anyway. It's going to be so expensive. Like, just buy a Quest headset and plug it in.
Have you ever had an Index or experienced one or anything? No. I would wonder if at this point, if you did try it, if you'd be like, what was the big deal? I feel like at the time it was big, but the crazy thing is that people still use it all the time as like the main VR headset. And it just shows that PC really fell off. I fear that Deckard just won't ever come, or by the time it does, they may not launch it because Valve is smart. They won't go, oh, this headset is so dated, we're just gonna launch it cheap and hope. Like, they'll back off if they say, oh, the whole industry has bypassed this thing already, because we're already kind of there. Like, the thing was, it was supposed to be wireless, reliable PC VR directly shot from your PC, and like, we're getting to the point where that's pretty feasible for everybody now.
Yeah.
So it's kind of losing all of its edges. I'm worried.
When the Steam app released for Quest, that was game over.
Yeah, they might have killed it because of that. That might be why we haven't heard anything. They might have been like, oh, we need to go back to the drawing board, or just never release this thing. And that's kind of what I feel like Half-Life 3 happened. Same situation. Like, the gaming industry caught up and it wasn't going to be revolutionary anymore. So they're like, we're not going to release this if it's not revolutionary. We got a two-parter here. Does VR need to continue focusing on making everything comfortable and accessible, or does the focus need to shift to making the media more extreme and appealing at the expense of restricting some experiences to users who already developed their VR legs? We don't have enough people yet. There's not enough people that could handle VR to suddenly be a whole lot more powerful. It's still got to be comfortable. It's still got to be accessible. The battery life, we covered all that earlier. I really think that's where it's got to go, because we have to get at least a good percentage of mainstream before we start taking it to the next level, because there's still too many people that just don't play it or haven't played it enough.
True.
So my answer basically is that I think that it's already getting to that point, because back in the day, every game I play used to default with some teleportation controls and whatever the word is, black screen thing. I can't pronounce that word, whatever it is. Vignette, is that it?
That's
the one. Okay. So basically, they used to always have all that stuff on default. Now they default to that stuff being off. So I'm assuming that they've kind of realized that someone's going to leave a whole bunch of negative reviews in the comment section. They get annoyed by not being able to turn these things off. I think that whatever games that I play that have these super comfort settings are usually like games that don't even need comfort settings anyway. So I don't know. The thing is, like, the Quest, this is the difference. When we got PSVR, they needed to have all these things because the headset wasn't as like capable of keeping you not getting motion sick. But the Quest 3 has so many advancements in technology to make sure you don't get sick. Faster refresh rates and things that I think that, we're going to get to a point where it's like the motion sick just won't happen because the technology is evolve to remove it.
Or every game will use Gorilla Tag motion, and that will fix it.
No.
No.
game.
No.
I
Please
played this
no.
circus game recently, and I was like, no, I don't want to play these. I don't want to play this Gorilla Tag movements.
Ugh. Next question. Outside of Half-Life Alyx, what do you think has been the most popular VR game that's released the past few years that brought the most new players to VR?
And we're talking recently, so not Beat Saber. Oh my god. The answer to this question is so obvious. Let's say not Gorilla Tag either. Okay, something else.
Not Gorilla Tag?
Yeah. Can we even think of
How recently are we allowed to say?
Well, it's got to be more recent than Half-Life Alyx, I would assume, by the question.
Man.
Resident Evil 4?
Bone Lab, maybe? Bone Lab was like kind of a big deal.
Not Bone Lab.
I don't know
Resident
that
Evil 4 is the one that sold the most because people that didn't want VR bought it just to play that one game.
Yeah. Obviously, the right answer is Gorilla Tag, but it's not the answer we want to give.
That is sad. I hate it.
Assuming you've experienced before, how do you handle burnout, especially with YouTube content creation and VR gaming in general? I like to go for walks. I like to take off the headset, go outside and listen to music and go for a walk. Another thing you can do is if you go on Facebook Marketplace and you get really lucky, you can buy a hoverboard for $40. And then if you wear the hoverboard or use the hoverboard, while playing VR, it adds a whole new layer of challenge and dangerousness.
Gosh.
You won't get bored at all. You might die, but you won't get bored.
And how about with content creation, though? They said especially with content creation.
With content creation?
Burnout's a big thing for a lot of YouTubers.
I just do whatever I want. And if the video is only 3 minutes long, then the video is only 3 minutes long. If I've decided that I want to do all my video in portrait mode because I can see more stuff and I figure most people are looking at the videos on their phone anyway, then I'm going to do that.
Nice.
Honestly, it's if the views get affected, I just don't care. Because if I cared about the views, then I'd just make free horror games every single video.
It's a new series. It's exactly that. The problem with YouTube in general is no matter what you do or create, doesn't even matter if you're VR or not. People make what they want and they make what they like and they make what they enjoy. And then one pops off and then that's all they make. And then it becomes a job. The key is to never make it into a job. That's why I don't say I'm going to the office today. That's why I don't say I'm going to go work. I literally do what I want every day in my mind, even though we put out content all the time, even though I'm constantly doing stuff to make that content happen. I look at it as though I don't have a job. I tell people when I meet them that I'm unemployed and it really freaks them out.
It really does. It gets awkward.
Yeah. Question 69. How did we not slot a special one into this? If you could use any modern HMD with every single VR application available without any hardware or software issues, which would you choose as your daily VR headset? Boy, there's not a headset that's the obvious standout. No headset is truly comfortable. If I could get the original PSVR with modern graphics, wireless, and modern controllers, I would still be using it.
Yep.
It was the most comfortable headset.
Very
It was so light. It felt so good on your head. If that was somehow possible, that would be my go-to headset.
For sure.
I actually love the Quest 3. I think my Quest 3 is awesome. And the way I have it set up, super comfortable. If I could get Farpoint and Astrobot on my Quest 3.
Yes.
My Quest 3 is at 3 pounds at the moment. I need to reassess my life.
That's the same weight as your brain. Did you enjoy Dune 2? No.
Haven't seen it.
Didn't we watch it with Kalana?
Was that what we watched?
Yes.
I don't
Yeah,
know
that was
about
Dune
that.
2.
I don't know about
There
that.
were the worms.
Oh, okay.
He made that casserole just for that, remember?
Isn't Dune like that movie that came out in the 90s that had this huge 6-part
The
series or
90s,
something?
the 80s or the 70s even? It
was not the 70s. Oh my gosh. The book maybe was
84.
Is there a new Dune? Is there some new Dune thing that
Yeah.
They took one.
Did it not release in Canada? What is going on?
90-minute movie, and they're making it into 4 3-hour-long movies.
Ridiculous.
In the movie industry.
With Timothée Chalamet and Zendaya. What?
I have no idea who these people are. Is that
These
the
people-
Spider-Woman girl? The Mary Jane? Oh, yeah. She's okay.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, I did not care for Dune 2. It was very long and boring. Now,
Dead bag, but what is your worst VR experience to date? I feel like we've answered this already, but it's definitely beyond the frame.
Oh my gosh. I thought about this in a different way and thought of what was the worst as in scary type thing. The first thing that came to mind for me was that one game where, gosh, was it on the Gear VR where it was a horror one and it has that creepy scene that was terrifying where you're going through and it's oh,
Sonar.
and there's yes. That was freaky.
I went into that not knowing it was going to be a horror thing, and that was really early in my VR days, and it kind of messed me up
It was freaky.
bad.
It was really freaky.
Anyways, probably asked before, but what is your dream VR game, and what would you want this experience to look or feel
Aw,
like?
that's so nice.
GTA San Andreas is coming back up. Actually, truly, Ocarina of Time, properly done, modern everything in VR, because I know we'll never get.
That would be really
That's
cool.
why that's like my unicorn.
That would
So
be
it's
really-
crazy because there actually is a mod that you can use the motion controls and play Ocarina of Time in VR.
It's not the same.
But it takes a lot of work and you have to do weird things, and I don't want to do that. But I will say that I've thought of this question so many times that I have two answers for it. And he said one, but I'm going to answer two anyway. So one of them, Animal Crossing. I don't care what anyone says. If you can give me Animal Crossing in VR, it's the perfect game to just live in Animal Crossing and have the Animal Crossing language thing. And that would be amazing. But the other thing I thought about, because I thought of this question so much, is especially after the Fallout TV show, what if there was just a game that was Fallout 4's engine, but you were only ever in the vault, but it was the Fallout 4 like graphics, but it was Fallout Shelter. So it like continuously played forever, but you would get to like do things in the vault, controlling things. I feel like that would be fun for like 10 plus hours, and someone that was hardcore could just play that forever.
Nat, did you have any?
I feel like I always just want like the console games I loved as a kid, like Spyro or Donkey Kong or Pokemon. Pokemon would be cool. I know there's that Pokemon-ish game. Yeah. Anyway. Okay. Oh, okay. The next question. Picture this. You're deep into your gaming session and all of a sudden you have to pee. Do you take the headset off to go or just turn on Passer and take care of business? I feel like we heard the answer to this from Lipnox. We heard the more intense answer to this from Jay.
I actually have. So when I was first doing the 10 days, I thought I was going to have to cancel the whole thing because I went to the bathroom while live streaming and forgot. I didn't really think about the fact that I was in pass-through streaming to the PC. But that was back before they allowed that. So my PC screen went dark while I went in the bathroom, luckily. Because now,
Thank
if I were to
goodness.
do that, it would show right on camera. Whatever I was looking at through my lenses would have shown now.
Oh
but
my
it wasn't a thing back then for privacy reasons. So now I'm pretty leery about doing that. Actually.
Whoa, that is dangerous.
It's funny he mentions that because I also went to the washroom one time while playing a game that I was recording footage for. You can't see anything. I was obviously editing the video, but the recording, I was like, oh yeah, I guess I shouldn't have kept the recording going while I went to the washroom. I'll just delete this video.
Yeah.
I could cut it properly, but I was basically like in the middle of recording something, and I was like, oh, I gotta go to the washroom. So I just quickly went to the washroom and then kept going. But there's like a period in it. Then I'm in the washroom in the recording.
Oh my
You have
god.
to be
Yeah,
conscious
one.
of it now. Yeah.
Sky7247, who's actually one of my good friends, asks, when is VR going to be completely cloud-based to avoid the bulkiness of the headset? And I loved Google Stadia, and I thought Google Stadia worked amazingly. And it's a disappointment to me that Meta and Google couldn't have figured out how to transfer those servers to make it work, because I think that Stadia had enough infrastructure and power that at least in the States alone, like at least in the US alone, they definitely could have made a cloud-based thing that would kind of work. But I would say that it has to be. We have to go to cloud eventually, because if you go to cloud, then you can basically have the lightest headset with the least amount of the whole thing can be battery. And if all the weight is going to the battery, then you can get that 6 hours or more, and then you can have the headset lighter. And you have PC VR graphic. Win-win.
Well, let's hope. They're working on it. They're working on something with it at Meta right now. Fall Leaves asks, have you ever met someone really cool in VR?
Aw.
I mean, like a million people. Yeah, you meet every kind. I've met cool people. I've met dickheads. I mean, I've met everything. Is there anyone that stands out, though, to you? You're like, oh my gosh, I met this person. I'm not one to get starstruck. So that doesn't really count.
Sky7247 I met in VR, so
Aw,
there you go.
There you go.
that's so nice.
Done.
If you were a VR game dev, what game would you make?
I feel like you were actually talking about learning game development. I feel like you talked about what you'd want to make if you did it. So
I forgot. Do you remember what I said?
No. Lip.
I would make Job Simulator, but you're a cat, and there's gorillas in the game.
Have you not tried I Am Cat yet?
I have not,
It's pretty
because I didn't know it
fun.
existed
Sending that
until
to you.
everyone found out it existed and made videos on it. Then I was like, this looks like baby hands with a cat.
See you right after this podcast.
It's
So
pretty
let me
fun.
forget.
All right.
I wish I should have written down my idea that I had because I don't remember at all.
It
I
was
feel
a
like,
brilliant idea too, and now it's gone
oh
forever.
my gosh.
Next time you think about it, you have to create it again.
Yes.
But I guarantee you, make something that you Make something that you just smash things together that's silly and colorful and has gorillas, and it'll just succeed.
True.
What are the best fitness games in VR? And I super love it's like Power Beats VR or something. And I love it because it is basically that expensive one that Jay loves that has like a subscription
Supernatural.
thing. And basically the Power Beats one costs like $20 and you can add any song you want. If you
Nice.
add them all to a Google Drive account, you don't even have to use your computer. You can just download them using the headset to the Google Drive thing. And also you can find websites that you can download like MP3s and stuff from. So it'll just create tracks for you with it. There's a hammer thing, there's punching, there's all the fitness things they have for the workouts. I think Power Beats is legit, but I guarantee you Jay's going to mention the other one that's a much better game, but you have to pay money for it.
Supernatural is spendy. There was VR workout that I did for a while that is, it's kind of awful, but it has you do like real intense calisthenics, like burpees and sit-ups and just like everything.
That sounds terrible.
But it was rough.
I
Probably
mean,
the best fitness games are the ones that you don't think of as fitness. Like Beat
Yeah.
Saber will get you to exercise
Yeah.
without feeling like you're
I was going to say
exercising.
Beat
Thrill the
Saber.
fight. Thrill the fight.
Yeah,
There you
things
go.
like that.
Yeah.
You're just gaming. You're not exercising, but you are also exercising.
Yeah, but Supernatural is a good one if you want to pay $100-something per year on it.
What is the best food to eat in VR? It's hot dogs with no bun or sauce because they're self-contained, protein, and when you're in VR chat only.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, the chips in VR chat are kind of fun to eat. You make a little chip noise when you eat them.
You got to do
Oh,
it with
that's
real
fun.
chips in real life with hand tracking. Like
I like-
line them up together so you get the whole effect. 4D.
I think people
I
will be
think
tripping out when they
donuts
hear
are fun in VR.
Wait, you're in Canada. Are chips crisps or are they fries there?
They're chips.
They're like crispy fried
They're
potatoes.
just, they're chips. You're thinking of the UK.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
In Canada, we just have
That's
chips.
weird.
The only difference with our chips is we have ketchup flavored.
Nice.
I'm stealing
have
the
you ever
next
had-
question
Okay.
because I can't remember when COVID happened. We had a.
Are you going to ask the question first so people know
I'm
what the
trying to
question
ask
is?
you what this was. Have you ever had a fun celebration in VR? When
Okay.
COVID happened, did we have my birthday with my parents in Rec Room? Was that what it was?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When
It
my
was
brother
really-
was there too because he had a headset. Yeah.
It was really fun. It was with your parents. We had like VR sodas and VR like pizza or
We were
something.
in what they used to call charades, but it's basically Pictionary
Yeah.
in 3D.
It was really
Yes.
fun.
What have you celebrated in VR?
I don't know. You go on VR chat and people are always inviting me to things, birthday parties, weddings, whatever. Been a whole bunch of things.
Are these
Nice.
like legit weddings or are these VR chat weddings?
It's VR chat. It's who knows what they are.
Someone needs to have their actual wedding.
These
in
people
VR
have
chat.
multiple personalities and this and that. And the more you think about it, the more crazy it gets. You just don't worry about it. There's one comment of someone that there was a guy who made a video of harassing the VR chat bouncers. And one of the comments was, these people take this job more seriously than the paid people. Like if you go to an actual bouncer,
True.
That's
so,
funny.
let them have their fun. But they always invite me to things and I just play along.
Nice.
So, what are the differences in recording the podcast in VR versus on video versus IRL? Well, I've never been on a podcast that we recorded in IRL, but I would say that when you record the podcast in VR, I can put the script in front of me in the VR headset. You don't know that I'm looking at the script, but here you can definitely see I'm looking there at the script or I'm looking there at Jay and Nat. So that's probably the only difference. Plus, it's a lot brighter with all these lights this way.
It's infinitely easier on video. IRL is actually harder than you'd think because you have to think about a lot more things. Like you need a wide enough angle to see everybody, or you need someone operating the camera. Audio is trickier in person because you have everybody talking loudly in the same room. And to that question earlier that people asked like about the podcast history, if we had continued doing it in VR, I think the podcast would have died. It was just so much work
It was.
to do it that it ultimately would have stopped. Like this is so much easier. This is like just hopping in a Zoom call basically.
Yeah. What are the best what are the best places to go for the arcade style? What are the best places to go for arcade style VR? If they're talking about like zero latency type places, like Zero Latency, Sandbox VR. Those are the ones I know of. I feel like your local arcade style place probably is not the best place.
Zero Latency, in my opinion, is by far the best, especially if it's like a one with a big open space. Sandbox is cool, but their spaces are too constrained, especially if you have too many people in. You're basically standing in place and turning instead of running around a big room.
Yeah.
So definitely, if you've never been to a Zero Latency, there's one near you, go. And now they're getting the headsets that don't need backpacks. So it's also lighter, it's comfier, you can move faster. Yes, definitely that.
Scarlet Ibis, who edits the podcast. If you take turns, who is the best editor? I would say that given the last episode level of quality, Jay is pretty good. But there was one episode that Nat edited like a little bit further away, and she clearly spent like probably 8 to 10 hours editing this video. I feel like it became her entire week editing this video. That's probably why Jay edits them now, because it took too long. She took so much effort to edit this thing. She went and found clips from like, I don't know how she found these clips. It was probably taking like hours to even find the clips. So props to her for that, for not knowing how long these things take. But
that's true.
Yes, that is correct. I actually, Editor John has edited a few when I was really in a pinch or something. So he's an editor, he does it. But yeah, for me, the problem is when I edit it, I'll do it in one shot. And so like the first 15 minutes are so in depth. I take my time, I find stuff. And then by the time I've been editing for like an hour or two, then I just start to like just go as fast as I can through the rest of it. And I think you can tell that when you watch them, because it's like, at first it's like this little clip. And then it's just like game trailer. So yeah, everybody has their own differences in how they do it.
I just don't know how to do any of the cool stuff. So all I do is put like B-roll in, or like, take out pauses or whatever.
She finds obscure B-rolls though. She'll like go and be like, oh yeah, that video that Lipnox made like 3 years ago that's part of another video. I'm going to find that one clip and I'm going to find the exact clip that references what he's saying. And I'm like,
that's true.
I know how long that stuff takes. She had to watch probably like 5 of my videos to even find that thing.
To work. Yeah. Luckily, the program we use online does about 70% of what we need it to do. So then it's really just adding in bits after. Is VR bad for your eyes? No. Next question.
Oh my gosh.
What? No, it actually is. It actually is. But that's so debatable. Is all screens. So is your tablet. So is your phone.
It's debatable.
Anything you look at is going to be bad for you. Just blame VR as if it's some super bad thing. And this is the thing I don't like when people blame and they're like, VR is dangerous for kids' eyes. It's like, yeah, but you'll sit them in front of a tablet where you're staying like this all day long.
Which is actually worse all bad. Too. VR is... looking at screens is bad, but a screen like that is even worse because it's not simulating distance at all. At least VR is trying to simulate distance. But ultimately, the thing you have to remember about life is bad for your eyes. The longer you're around, the worse your eyes are going to get. So like use them on what you love and enjoy your life.
Nice. Will we ever have jobs where people are in VR, but they're controlling robots IRL? That's a cool question.
I think I've seen videos of someone doing that already.
It would make the whole sex work industry really safe if it moved to this model.
Oh, okay. Then it does exist. I'm going to keep this as safe for work as possible, but there are special devices that can be remotely controlled by customers that the person that they are paying is using said devices, and they can press things that make it happen, and then they do things in VR that connect it.
Oh, nice.
Is there an app for reading a book in VR? I believe this was covered in the last episode, but I think it was called Super Medium or something, comic book app.
Oh,
There's a bunch of things you can read comics in.
That is neat.
VR has been used for surgeries and other cool things like that. What are cool things VR could be used for? Everything. Kids could go to school in VR. VR could replace 90% of what we do. Obviously, that wouldn't be the healthiest thing and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, VR could replace so much for us if we would just fully embrace technology. But so could AI, and people don't want to embrace that either. So what can you do?
Is Google Earth the best world traveling app, or are there better ones?
I mean, I like EarthQuest because you can go really, really fast, and it lets me like go down to like street level. So even though it's like blockiness, it still lets me do that, and it lets me change the settings so it can be bigger and smaller. But there's another one called World Flight. You just get in like an airplane or a helicopter, and you just fly across the whole world. But it's all using the Google Earth thing, so you fly past landmarks. But I can like fly past my house, so still got Google Earth's graphics. But if you're up in the sky, the graphics don't look as bad. So I don't know. I think World
What's that awesome. Address for people who want to fly by your house?
It is Antarctica 346 Full Dive Street.
Perfect.
Oh my gosh.
What is the best side quest hidden gem you have found? And I mean, there's a lot of them. I would say that for me, there is this one app, and I don't even remember what it's called right now, but it is in my best side quest video, and it is this completely random app that some company has used to sell like apartments or something, so you can get like tours of apartments. But it has super photorealistic visuals.
Wow.
And there's like 150 people total that have ever downloaded this from SideQuest. And if you type in a certain number, which is in the video, it says you can tour the Millennium Falcon, and it has like almost photorealistic graphics, and no one even knows what it is.
Wow.
I don't remember what it's called.
Wow.
It is it's in the best.
Google it
if you
and
look
try
on,
and find it.
Our best side quest games. I'm sure whoever edits this video will have it right there for you. But it is a super legit app, and there was one period of time where it stopped working, and the developer cared enough to fix it, despite no one downloading this app. So
wow. Okay. Well, I'll try and find it and put it.
If you want a real game, there's a game called HAX Hacks, and that is a legit game too. You shoot robots. I hope it comes out someday.
Nice.
It's also in that video.
Have you ever had any VR games that change your perspective on something? Yes, but I wish I would have had this question ahead of time because I don't remember what. But there's been a few that I was like, wow.
There was that one that was where I wouldn't necessarily say it changed my perspective, but it was like seeing things from a different perspective. I can't remember what it was called, but it was like where in the game you were like blind and you couldn't see anything.
Oh, Notes on Blindness.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
And you could hear stuff. Yeah, that was really cool.
Yes.
All right. I guess we're not going to try and think of other ones.
Lip, any life-changing
I can't think
moments?
of any. I mean, change my perspective on something. I mean, I definitely became less afraid of chainsaws after Resident Evil 7.
There you go.
Oh, I thought I just asked one.
Have you ever learned a helpful new skill using a VR app? And probably, but I can't remember what they were.
You can tell we're getting near the end here. We're all struggling. I don't know that I had a little bit of training in a couple areas when I was young, but I would say Supernatural, their boxing side actually has really like changed the way that I like look at the sport of boxing and stuff. And I'm not saying I'm ready to go hop in the ring with somebody after it, but I think that like form and stuff, I definitely... It's hard to describe, but yes, I'll just say yes to the question.
The breathing game.
Oh, true.
Helped me get much better at skills at breathing.
True. Yeah, Another question from Theron. What is the weirdest experience you have had with a stranger in VR? That's a good one.
So many. During my 10 days, some edgy teens came into VR chat where I was trying to interview people because we accidentally had left the world public. And they were coming in just trying to get a rise out of people doing dumb crap kids do, you know, and that's just costumes that you're just like, really? And then words that you're just like, really? And it's like, wow, guys, you're really showing how stupid you are. So there's plenty of that.
I would say be careful with technology these days because some of the people have extremely good voice changers that use AI that sound very realistic. You can get yourself into some very weird situations with strangers in VR chat, so careful. Next question, please. Mr. Zircon Keelyu, do you ever think of changing your gamer tag or starting a second tag so you can play something in peace without being bombarded with invites, games, or chats? And I actually screenshotted this and sent it to Jay, and I said, I wish I had this problem. I don't think I've ever been bombarded with... I don't think I've even been invited to any of these things.
Yeah, I don't have that problem.
People don't even recognize me when I get into VR.
I definitely have used my alt account in Rec Room before, especially when I was doing Rec Room meetups a lot. It's not really the actual games so much as like my meta account. Like I have it set to like always offline or something because like you're trying to record something, you're trying to do something, you're like getting hit with messages and stuff. Yeah. So I don't think I have to go as far as like making a second tag, but you're definitely like it can be disruptive. Is really what it comes down to.
Would you ever do an episode Hot One style? I feel like we were kind of talking about this earlier.
Right now we're doing it.
That would be
is that
fun.
Just ketchup? Because ketchup is not spicy.
It's not ketchup, I promise you.
This better be the hottest sauce on the planet.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, then
whatever that chicken sauce is.
You have to take the next question and answer it because now you're burning.
We're doing it already. Oh God. Oh no. Oh my gosh. You're just ready with all the stuff.
You just had the hot ones. So you said the hot ones. So you got to ask a question and answer it now.
Oh, would you ever do an episode of Hot One style? What's the question?
Next question. Did you take the advice and try a pedicure yet?
No, I did not. They're expensive.
You didn't either, huh?
No. Ew.
I have had a pedicure.
I don't want
before.
somebody touching all up on my feet.
Oh
It's
my
weird enough during a massage, let alone like having them like clip your nails. Ew, no. 2-Bit showing up. 2-Bit,
Aw,
a guest on the
2-Bit.
podcast. Spent a week on a VR treadmill. Still waiting on that video there, buddy.
Oh my gosh.
I have to give you crap because it took us so long to get our 10-day video.
It was like a year, I think.
It wasn't quite a year. It was like 8 months. 2-Bit, sure. I save worms.
You didn't
all
ask
the
the
time.
question.
I said, would you still like me if I was a worm?
Oh, just kidding.
I save worms on the side of the street all the time. I would save you.
Aw. Jamie V Rex asks, what game/app do you wish you could smell? I'm guessing that means like in which game or app do you wish you could smell?
I mean, there's a game called like Unit Chat where you get to chat with a virtual AI girl. That'd be kind of cool.
you want to smell her? What?
I don't know. Perfume. Okay, you don't like to smell someone of the
Oh, I
opposite
do.
gender?
I sniff him all the time.
I think
don't
it's
know.
weird.
Like, I feel
Sniffing
like
is
you're going on a
creepy.
date. You know, someone smells good. I don't know what else I'd be smelling.
Sniffing is creepy to me.
Maybe
I
flowers.
would like if there's any apps that have like grass. I like the smell of grass or rain.
Obviously, anything pleasant. The problem that we were talking about the other day, I feel like in life, most of the time you don't
Ask
notice
the next question.
if temperatures or smells unless they're like bad.
Which brings us to the next question.
Which would you never want to be able to smell in? Well, I feel like people would say Resident Evil, but I bought a Resident Evil candle just to
That's
smell
true.
it. So,
Yeah, I might be transitioning to a non-video version. My camera's about to die, but I'll keep talking.
okay, we're almost there. Just rock it
We're
through.
so
What do you not
close.
want to smell in VR? What game do you not want to smell?
Anything with sewage.
yeah.
Yes. Next question, GTA San Andreas, question mark. We're skipping this question. No. We've talked about this too much lately.
Why is Jay Brad so popular? How could he not
Because
be?
helpful advice and friendly faces. I don't know. That's a good question. No,
100
question
more episodes?
100.
I hope so.
100 more episodes. Yes.
Yay!
That's
oh
it.
my gosh, we did it!
100 questions in 93 minutes. Thank
Wow,
you, everybody, for
that's
100
pretty good.
episodes. You're all amazing. Remember, we're everywhere for you, the
Yay.
podcast. And if you've been thinking about VR, what is it time for them to do, Lip?
Donate!